Hi, I'm Femi Okay.
I'm Malika Bilal, and you're in the stream. It's hours to voting day in the United States. Candidates are making their closing remarks to American citizens who will vote for the president that best reflects their values. Among the most contentious issues of this campaign has been immigration.
Today we're here from Naturalized US citizens while they're casting a ballot on November the 8th. Stay with us, you don't want to miss this very special two-part stream event.
With my vote, I will be saying, I want my country to remain a country for all.
I support Mr. Trump as a Latino. I think he's got great ideas such as to get rid of Common Core.
Palestinian American, I really do not think whether Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, I don't think it will make any difference as far as the Palestinian question is concerned.
I came to the U.S. 15 years ago as a refugee. Being an American, it means a lot. It means you have a right to vote, and voting is not only your right, but it's your civic duty.
I feel really sad because I'm not going to be able to vote this year and to make my voice heard.
And especially, I want my country to remain open for people like me, who at some point in their lives had no other place to go.
I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. While she's probably not the best candidate for Middle Eastern interests, there's no question she's the best candidate for America.
Thanks so much to members of our community for sharing their stories. Immigrants to the United States often see the country as a symbol of equality, justice and economic opportunity. For some, taking the oath of citizenship and investing in the future of their adopted land is casting a ballot and participating in the democratic process.
Immigrants historically have low attendance at the polls, but research shows this election cycle has motivated more people than ever to register. And it's possible the divisive policies and politics around both presidential candidates' immigration platforms have been one reason why. Here are Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in some of their own words from the last presidential debate.
Now, I want to build the wall. We need the wall. The Border Patrol, ICE, they all want the wall. We stop the drugs. We shore up the border.
Right. I don't want to rip families apart. I don't want to be sending parents away from children.
One of my first acts will be to get all of the drug lords, all of the bad ones. We have some bad people in this country that have to go out.
It means you would have to have a massive law enforcement presence, where law enforcement officers would be going school to school, home to home, business to business, rounding up people who are undocumented.
Joining our stream town hall today, Saba Ahmed is president of the Republican Muslim Coalition. She emigrated to the United States from Pakistan. Jeannie Nguyen is president of the Voice of Vietnamese Americans. She came to the United States as a refugee from Vietnam. Jesse Singh is founder of Sikh Americans for Trump. He emigrated to the US from India.
And joining us via Skype, Loida Zorge is an immigration lawyer. Her family, originally from Mozambique, immigrated to the United States from France. Myra Campos Segura and her husband, Anthony Segura. Myra immigrated to the U.S. from Mexico. Rafael Flores is a Republican political consultant. He immigrated to the United States from El Salvador. AJ and his daughter Sana Siddiqui are also joining us. AJ is an accountant and immigrated to the U.S. from Pakistan. Sana was born in the U.S.
And Emabet Bakalar, she is an insurance agent and she emigrated to the United States from Ethiopia. Thank you, voters. Hello, voters. Thank you for being part of the stream today and part of the stream town hall. Hello.
Beautiful. Hi. Glad to be here.
That's what 10 Voices sounds like. Yes.
Hey.
Nice to be here with
the American dream right here. All right, so let me just poll your mood. Raphael, what are you feeling like now, just before voting day in the United States? How are you feeling? What's your mood?
I'm feeling very happy that finally this is going to be over in hopefully the next 30 hours. I'm so happy and so looking forward to this crazy election. But it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow, 100%. So I want to encourage everyone, and especially my Latino brothers and sisters, to please go out and vote. We need to send a very strong message that the Latinos participate in the president election. So I'm very happy and looking forward to tomorrow's results.
Emabet, what's your mood right now?
Tired, excited, but also very tired. I want this election to be over, but motivated. I think my candidate is going to win, so I'm actually very anxious of that. Go Hillary. Go out and vote, everybody.
I love to see everybody just who's in our town hall right now on Skype. Just if you are so done with this election, put your hand up. Just raise your hand. Yay. Malika.
Well, there are people who are excited, a little bit more excited, and if you can imagine, there are probably people who are voting for the first time. So we actually heard from one of those people. This is Adamu, who says he's a new American.
Yeah.
He sent us a video comment about what voting for him was like. Here's what he told us.
For many of the elderly new citizens who still struggle with the English language, having community leaders who can help them with interpretation in the voting place and facilitate a smooth voting experience is also key. A week ago, I voted along with 17 other new Americans. When we came in through the door, one of the poll workers started asking us a barrage of questions. If we were citizens, where were we coming from, who we are, a question that I did not see her ask other people who are coming right behind us. Was this because the way we look, or we look different, or was it something else?
So you could hear the excitement in his voice, Jeannie, but then you could also hear how that excitement kind of turned into dismay when he felt he was discriminated against at the polls. I know that you had been helping to register new voters in the Vietnamese immigrant community. Have you heard stories like this? Do you hear worries like this?
Yes, I have a lot of concerns about being discriminated as a color people and also Vietnamese Americans. We have a different way to spell our names. The name can be reversed, the last name first, first name last. And there's concern that people may use that to not letting the voters know. So every season, we've been doing this for many seasons now, we always tell our voters to always try to vote, even if a provisional vote, and then it will be clarified afterward. But we do wanted all of our Vietnamese American voters to come out and vote tomorrow if you haven't voted yet. And we're now having a hotline that I would be one to answer the hotline by Vietnamese to help. And it's your right to have translation in Vietnamese if you're unable to, and you can request that right at the polls. And at the last resort, there is a hotline, it's called APIA Vote Hotline.
Is anyone else expecting it to be difficult to vote if you still have to vote tomorrow? Anyone else expecting any difficulties, challenges?
I don't think so. I'm actually work for the county,
Yes,
and I
Anthony.
will be working the polls tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we are set up so that we can actually translate Vietnamese, Spanish, Navajo, Aztec, and one other indigenous language. So we're already prepared here in Albuquerque, New Mexico to do that, and in the state.
That's wonderful. I've been
We have a large Vietnamese population here.
Thank you, that's wonderful. I've been an election officer before, and I must say that the process is very meticulous, very non-partisan, and everybody work very seriously to take their position very seriously to make sure the voter is being respected. So I must say that we've done everything from the election officers, the election commission side to make sure that the voters are secure and get to vote their voice. However, there are other mistakes and there are other rules around it, like the recent voter IDs rules, and there's recent time where we try to expand the early voting times and it's cut down. There are times that we're trying to promote absentee voting and it's not supported.
Jeannie, let me just bring in Jessie sitting right by you. Jessie, I'm going to bring you in via your Twitter profile picture on my laptop. How did you get to be in this position, standing next to Donald Trump?
I've been supporting Mr. Trump the day he announced his candidacy. And I really think there is time for change in this country. I was very much impressed by his policies. Sometimes it seemed like when he used to talk, it used to be like he's talking of what an average American is talking at home. Issues he brought up, I used to talk with my friends, hey, this is what needs to be changed, this is what the issues are, and he said the same thing. So I immediately felt like I was connected to him. And that's how I became a supporter, and I'm still supporting him. and I'm very confident that we're going to win this election tomorrow.
I felt differently because I felt that the change has been made by President Obama. One of Obama's motto at the time he was running was change. And he has changed our country from being just very in the crisis, economy crisis, where unemployment rate was like 10% down to today of 4%. He brought jobs back. And then I also am used to be a nurse, an RN, and I see how bad.
Have you met him?
Met President Obama?
No, have you met Donald Trump?
No, I'm not for Donald Trump. And
I
want to say that the change is made for the last 8 years.
Well, I want to say the change
a long way.
Jeannie, turn around, Jesse's talking to you.
The change that Obama made in last year was for the worst, not for the best. Our economy is now $20 trillion in debt. He has more than doubled the debt that President Bush left. The foreign policy that we have is now completely gone. America is not respected the way we were 8 years ago.
I disagree because
the
deficit has been cut down at 60%.
Jeannie, hold tight a minute because we have a big town hall here. Amber, what were you trying to say?
I wanted to respond to Jesse. That is not accurate. Right. First of all, when Barack Obama came into office, this country was basically spiraling out of control. The debt that you're talking about was something that he inherited from the Bush administration for 2 wars that were not accounted for or paid for. So we cannot blame Barack Obama
that Hillary Clinton voted for too.
No, we are talking about. I'm responding to Jesse and even the jobs. I mean, this country was actually basically broke when Barack Obama came into office. So it's a little bit disingenuous for them. I mean, Republicans to actually say that Barack Obama created all this crisis when he actually bailed out the country.
I think
from
Obama
all the
administration really failed us.
Left behind.
Obama administration failed us in foreign policies across the board. I think by pulling out prematurely from Iraq, they destabilized the region. They created ISIS. In the last few years, we've seen terrible disasters. And yes, $20 trillion did not exist when he took office. And Obama administration has weakened our position around the world, and I don't see that changing with the Clinton administration.
I disagree.
I think we have, if we get a Republican president, they can try to restore our defense and foreign policies that we need.
The Republican administration that he came after did all the things that you're accusing him of. So no, he did not.
Hillary Clinton started the war in Libya. She was primarily responsible for taking out Gaddafi.
So Town Hall, do you know what this is proving to everybody who's watching this around the world? Not all US immigrants are thinking the same thing. There is no such thing as an immigrant bloc. Meanwhile, Malika, where do you want to take us?
I'm actually glad that that's how you pivoted from that conversation.
Okay.
Because, so take a look at my laptop. This is a series of tweets we just got. So this is Akash, who says, as an outside observer, I feel bad for the American voter choice between 2 least popular candidates marred in controversy. Someone immediately wrote him back. This is Maria, who says, even with Hillary Clinton's faults, she's exponentially better. Don't use false equivalency comparing them. So just shows you the divide online. But what that means for people is that they want to make sure their voices are being heard, even if they don't really like their choices. So we got a video comment from someone called Anakwa in New York, and he shares his concern that maybe his voice isn't being heard. Have a listen to what he told us.
Well, it's undisputable that Black immigrants in general tend to be invisible in American politics. So that you have progressive candidates like Hillary Clinton and Bernie, for that matter, who during their primaries had outreach teams for Hispanic immigrants and Asian immigrants, but there was none for the Black immigrant community. Not even here in New York, where that's not a small block. So it seems to me that it's a tactical decision, but I definitely didn't feel like candidates were reaching out for my votes.
Loida, in today's current society, when we talk about immigration, do you think most people, when they bring something to mind, they bring a face to mind, do you think they bring a face like yours to mind?
No, they don't, but there's a historical context to that. For instance, the Latino immigrant has, as a legacy, been in the United States for a longer period of time. They're also coalesced around a single language, and so you have an African diaspora community that includes 50 plus nations from the continent plus the Caribbean diaspora. And at any given point, you're talking about a whole lot of folks with a lot of different languages. And what does tie us is skin color, but some would argue maybe not more than that, as far as when it comes to ideals and political perspectives, because so many of us come from different types of backgrounds, from folks fleeing internal conflicts in their countries of origin to folks coming here for a better higher education, to diplomats, and the list goes on. That being said, in the last couple of years, there has been a progressive movement to bring the African diaspora voice more to the political forefront. It's still, in its cycle, but even inside that group, you're going to hear very many perspectives from folks that are traditionally conservative, feeling that maybe that means they have to go for Trump, and or folks that understand and or see that his vitriolic the legacy that he leaves will more than likely disenfranchise us even more so than we are right now.
I think that.
Yeah, go ahead, Raphael. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that President Obama is going to go down in history for being one of the worst presidents in United States. And you know what? I think that that's going to happen tomorrow. I think Donald Trump is going to get more votes than what everybody is expecting to get from the African American community. I've never seen so many celebrities supporting Donald Trump. So I think tomorrow he's going to have more than President McCain, than Mitt Romney. Tomorrow is going to be a big surprise from the African American community.
McCain and Romney both fell to President Obama, and it's been around the world that President Obama has been noted as the best president of the U.S. so far. Now, up until he won
the American president,
so I disagree.
So town hall, Jeannie, your disagreement.
I disagree.
Your disagreement is noted. Raphael, hold tight for a moment, because let me just bring in Anthony. Raphael.
Like him.
Raphael,
no Latin American. It's an ally of the United
Raphael,
States.
you threw in the verbal grenade.
Policies.
Stand back for a moment. Anthony, respond. Go ahead.
Well, let me give you an example. I'm a lifetime Democrat, or I was until 6 years ago. I supported Obama on both elections. And I am so disgusted with him. Okay. I am so disappointed. I am now a Republican. I'm going to be a lifetime Republican. I'm not going to change. If you want to see how things are different, Donald Trump came to Albuquerque, came to New Mexico twice. I was at both events. Hillary Clinton blew us off. She didn't care about the Hispanics here in New Mexico.
President Obama.
Oh, give me a break. So why can Donald Trump can come here 2 times?
So we have it's interesting. We have a couple split. So Maya, sitting next to hubby Anthony, is going to vote differently. Maya, respond to Anthony.
Yeah, I want to say something, because it's different in our circumstance, like the people that is coming from other continents, like the people that come from Mexico. Like Hispanic immigrant, I have different circumstances to the other people, and I can believe that their circumstances are really terrible. But let me tell you something. I hear Donald Trump talking about that he wants to get legal immigration. But for my country, for Mexico, when the salary is too low, the people can afford to pay for a visa just for come legally. And even after that, you need to pay for a permit too for can come here. And even with that, when you are here in this country with this discrimination, like I feel for myself, I'm resident. I come to this country since I was 10 years old. And when I get my residence, I was traveling forth and back because I had my dental office in Mexico. So I'm not the person that Donald Trump described. I'm not like a criminal. I'm not somebody that the people be afraid about me because I'm going to do something in this country. And I'm working so hard for improve the people, the Hispanic immigration people, all the people that come here for learn the language, for get capacitation, for prove that we can be really productive to this country. And I always try that the people understand that if they can just stop to see us like a problem and they can explode our talent for this, develop in this country can be different. Because
So Myra, I'm
everybody,
going to jump in there because I like that.
We are in a problem.
Myra, I really like that phrase you just used. If people could stop seeing us as a problem. So being a member of a community that society also sees as a problem, Muslims, I want to pivot to this next tweet we got. This is a tweet we got from Jim, and Saba, this is for you. Jim cites an earlier quote you made at a different time, but what I want us to pick up on is he says, "You seem to be representing the inexplicable Muslims for Trump movement." He includes a picture of you on today's show. It's something that a lot of people can't wrap their head around. What is it about Trump for you that makes sense?
Well, I'm very disappointed in the Democratic policies. I mean, I voted for Obama in 2008, but it was the hope and change he talked about. We have yet to see any change, and the hope was destroyed. And I feel like the foreign policies and domestic policies, Obama has weakened our position around the world. And as a Muslim American, yes, I was a little offended when Trump made some statements against our community. But at the same time, now he has toned down his rhetoric, and it's because Muslims got involved with his campaign and are engaging with Republicans. If we stay out of it, then the ignorance will only prevail, and we can't afford to do that as a community. I feel strategically we need to lobby Republicans, and especially a Donald Trump presidency shows signs of a good, strong person with a successful business background. And I think that he can turn the economy around, create jobs, balance the budget, things that we really need.
Saba, Jeannie, hold tight for a moment, because I really want to hear AJ and Sana come into this conversation. You heard what Saba said. AJ and Sana, how would you respond?
What I don't understand is how can Trump create jobs? The guy has never ran a government. He has run a business. He has always been always done things for his personal interest. He has not spent
Obama
a day.
has on-the-job experience he took. He never ran any office, and we put somebody like that into the president's position.
Allow AJ to finish. Go ahead, AJ. Yeah, please do. Go ahead.
I think the point I'm trying to make is that here is Hillary, who has spent all her life in public service. And there is a guy who stands up, a billionaire, who has made money all his life by taking care of his own interest, filing bankruptcies, gaming the system in America, and becoming extremely wealthy. Now, suddenly, he is going to know how to run the government. He's going to know how to run America. He's going to know how to run this.
He's not a traditional career politician.
Hillary Clinton has been doing public service.
All right, studio guests, one at a time. Saba, you said he's not a career politician.
Exactly, and he has successful business tracker. He's
taken
advantage of the tax. He's created thousands of jobs.
Hillary Clinton has been doing public service for 30 years. Where did she get her millions from? She's net worth is about 30 to 40 million dollars. Where did she get her 30 to 40 million dollars?
Everybody, of that Trump versus Clinton. This is why I like Clinton. This is why I like Trump. Malika, where would you like us to go next?
I'd like us to go to a comment we got from Ramesh Kilawan, who's actually the father of a member of a stream team. And these are his thoughts on this election cycle. Have a listen.
As a Guyanese immigrant migrated since 1985, this presidential elections will definitely affect me. The two candidates are wide apart where jobs are concerned, where immigration is concerned, and these are issues that really will affect me. My past experiences tells me that in the United States of America, many elections are not free from FEAR, fear, because of my experiences of rigged and violent intimidation to the voters.
Emma, in a sentence or two, fear, is that ruling this election for you? How big of a role is that playing?
No, I think I don't fear anything because I have confidence in this country and the faith in the people of this country that fear and intimidation would not work for anybody. And the rhetoric is just rhetoric. I mean, there's nobody that's going to go out and do anything. But there is an anxiety of what's going to happen. What are we going to wake up to? What kind of world are we going to wake up to? What kind of America are we going to wake up to?
All right, that's
if
such
Donald
a
Trump
good thought to end part one on. I want to show you our Skype town hall. Have a look who's out there on our town hall. Just part one. Have a look at all of those faces. We have the studio back here. We will continue part two on the next edition of the stream. The Immigrant Town Hall, you can be part of that as well. Election 2016, we're almost there. Almost. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.